if I knew how to change the thing that I want to change, I would have changed it by now, right? This is specifically around those issues that seem to be really sticky, that they will get better for a little bit, but after a while, we're back in the same pattern, or even we know what to do, but we just can't bring ourselves to doing it. Why is that? No matter how good your life is, there's a part of it that's always been a struggle. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you're a person and people struggle with aspects of life, right? We all have something. And that something may or may not be the same thing throughout your life. But if we didn't have some sort of friction or some sort of challenge, then we wouldn't be growing, we wouldn't be evolving, and this adventure called life would be so incredibly boring. And so people will go to therapy, will read self-help books, will talk with friends, will get all kinds of help to try to shift a pattern that's specifically bothering them. And there tends to be something in our lives that no matter how hard we try is stuck and we can't change it, right? And so I'm here to talk a little bit about why that is the case and what we can do about it. So, for example, let's take somebody that has a great career, is making a lot of money, is healthy, and they want to find a partner and they keep dating and they last a couple of months in a relationship, maybe even a couple of years. But after a while, it all goes up in flames and they can't really be in a long term relationship, which is really their true heart's desire, right? And so then they go to therapy. And in therapy, they realize that growing up, their parents didn't really model the kind of relationship that they want to have, and so they have no model of what a good relationship looks like. And so maybe the therapist will send them out into the wild to look for the kind of people that have the kind of relationship that the person wants, and then talk to them and find out what they're doing or how did they meet, or maybe even find examples from books or media, and they will do the work of forgiving the parents and all of this internal work. And that helps 100%. It helps a lot. And it helps understand why we have the pattern that we're having, but it doesn't really shift it, right? And this happens a lot to people with, again, different areas of our life. Some of us will be really happy with our career, but struggling with our health, or feel really good with our health, but struggling with relationships. Or maybe we have a loving partnership with a romantic partner, but we have a really difficult relationship with other members of our family. There's always the one thing that seems to be kind of stuck, right? This is because in order to truly transform something that we haven't been able to change yet, we need to use tools that access our entire being and a full system that access every part of ourselves to really make the transformation happen. What I mean by that is that if I knew how to change the thing that I want to change, I would have changed it by now, right? This is specifically around those issues that seem to be really sticky, that they will get better for a little bit, but after a while, we're back in the same pattern, or even we know what to do, but we just can't bring ourselves to doing it. Why is that? That is because, again, in order to truly transform what we haven't been able to transform, we need to utilize a system that incorporates every single aspect of our being. And so many times we think about mindset, or we think about habits, or positive thinking, or emotional healing, or spiritual practices. And those are all excellent, but we need to find the unique recipe, the unique combination of all those things that will work for us as individuals, right? And that's what I call magic, which is the craft of transforming reality. And so the way magic works is that when you have an issue, you first need to identify what part of you it's impacting. Is it your physical body? Is it your mind? Is it your heart? Is it your spirit? It's usually all of the above, and to different extents, each one. And having a clear map of the diagnosis, if you will, of what's going on with you will really, really, really help nail down the actual prescription for the solution. Then we also need to be aware of the different levels of our consciousness, right? If our conscious mind has a deep desire for a better job, but our subconscious mind knows that Maybe when we get a better job, we're going to overwork ourselves and then we're going to fall sick from not taking care of ourselves. Then our subconscious mind is going to try to keep us safe by self sabotaging or by somehow managing to not allow us to get the job because, in fact, it feels dangerous to a part of ourselves. Or maybe there's a bigger plan in place where it's just not the right time. And so aligning the supraconscious, the conscious, and the subconscious mind behind the same desire is what will help us actually bring it to fruition. Most of us are completely unaware of how this works. Most of us are not even familiar with our conscious mind, our subconscious, and our supraconscious minds as aspects of our being. We have no idea how to access it. We have no idea how to shift it. And this is something that's part of magical practices as well. The other thing, too, is that if we're not working with the forces of nature, in other words, with life herself, to co create the kind of situation that we want for ourselves, we're going to be really pushing crap uphill. It's going to be really, really hard because when we're aligned with what's meant to be for us, it's so easy to make it happen. And usually, we're not aligned with that because of some piece that we're missing of the puzzle. Does that make sense? So, in order to learn how to do this, I invite you to check out my Liberation Magic page. The link is in the comments where I tell you more about the system that integrates your entire being so that you can actually finally manifest what you truly want.